Hello and welcome to John on the Bike. I've mentioned a few times about creating my routes in Ride of the GPS, so I just thought I'd do a little quick video on actually how I make my routes when I'm going out on my bike. So obviously, it might be of interest to yourselves, to create a route for yourselves. It's just a very simple technique that I use, and it's nothing exactly complicated. But I thought I'd just quickly run through it. So I'm on Ride of the GPS. Ride with GPS at the top here. Good site, very good site. With this, let's have a new route there. Just clear that. Let's create a mirror for us there. So I'm just going to start a random place. I don't live in Lanchester, but we'll start there. So far, say started here. Let's say we lived in Lanchester. So first of all, let's just start there. And then what I tend to do is I try to avoid any major roads. So any ear roads, I avoid like the plague. I mean, sometimes you have to go on them. You just can't help it. But if you can avoid them, obviously it's a good idea to avoid them. Because obviously you're going to be a lot heavier traffic. So what I tend to do is I'll plot along a road. I'll have a zoom out. Think, was that going the right general direction? So yeah, that looks okay. And then I'll just plot along the road. Oh, and if it does that, then it's just done there. Just Control and Z to undo it. You can drag the, if I went up there by mistake, you can kind of drag the pin down yourself. You could kind of do that and drag it down, and it'll put it back in line again. But I just Control Z and it undoes it for you. So click where you want to go, and right with GPS, it follows the road brilliantly, beautifully. It really does. It's really very handy. Just click along your route where you want to go. Now, keep an eye obviously on the elevation down here, because this is giving you an idea of how the route's going. So you might be a bit wary of hills and such like. If you're not sure of the route. So just zoom back in and out. And what I tend to do as well, I tend to use this little figure here, which is like on the Street View for Google. Google Maps has the same little icon on. So I tend to drag that sometimes if I'm not sure about a certain area. Just have a look, say this junction, and then I'll basically have a look along the route, and I think, oh yeah, that's quite a hill, isn't it? Or just have a look and see where you're actually going. If you don't want to use the one included in Ride of the GPS, you can click the view on Google Maps, and that will take you straight to the Google Maps site at the exact spot that you are as well, so which is very handy. And you've still got your Ride of the GPS open in the background as well, so you can go back to that, and then you can use the little expand option. So you can see the route of where you actually are. So you can see you can turn around there, so you think, well, that's the route I'm going. So head that way, and you can have a look. And then you can go back to your route again and just click that button there to take you back to your route. So I tend to use Google Maps for the Street View part, and just leave it open like that and go between the two. So go back to the map plotter, and just follow this map along. Again, sticking to the back roads. Keeping an eye on your profile here, and if you're not sure about the profile, you can also move along the route. You can see the little blue dot moving along there. And if you look down at the bottom here, you can see that's like 5% hill. That's a 6% hill. So you just got to keep an eye on your hills. Obviously, if you're not that good on hills, you don't want a very hilly ride. Just keep an eye on your hill profile at the bottom of your height profile, so you know exactly what you're going to be up against when you go out. So carry on doing your route wherever you want to go. See, there's an ear road there, so if I want to avoid that, I'm going to head down this way. And obviously, you might have to cross some major roads at some point. I've got them straight across the ear road there, but it's just straight across off the other side. And sometimes you will have to hit the ear roads. I mean, you can't always avoid them, but if you can, obviously, it's nice. Carry on around here. This is just a random route I've done. I've actually done a bit of this route before, actually. Around here, so you see here, I'm hitting a bit of the A68 up here, but I've hit this road a few times. It's actually not that busy this stretch, so it's not too bad. follow the route round, and just keep an eye, let's say, on the profile. I use this for the routes, and then I'll use Google Maps Street View to see where I'm going, which you can use with a Ride GPS for the link. Drag the little man over and then click View on Google Maps, and that'll take you to the exact spot where you're at. And it'll still leave Ride the GPS up in the background, like I said before, so you can go back to the route there, and then you know you're in the same place. If I expand it open, you can see I'm in the same spot as I am. So you can have a look at the area where you're at and get an idea of if you're surrounded and stuff and what it actually looks like. So you can have a look around and think, yeah, this looks a nice area to pedal in. This looks like a nice view, nice routes. Yeah, I could do this. And if you're happy with that, you can go back to your route planner and Ride with GPS and just carry on along. You know, you might be certain areas that you just want. I just think it's handy to avoid, you know, certain areas you think, well, I don't want to go through there. It looks a bit too, I don't know, too industrial, too busy, too much traffic around. You know, you just sometimes get an idea just by looking at the Google Maps, looking at the street view of the area, what it looks like. You know, and sometimes you can get an idea of the road. I mean, obviously road services can change over time, obviously, but it can give you an idea of what the area you're going to visit before you visit. And I also find it handy to navigate as well, because you've had a quick look along the route. You don't have to do every section of the route, you know, every millimetre of the route this way. But you know, if you come to junctions and stuff and have a quick look, let's say there's a junction here, you know, you might come down this junction thing, oh, that's the junction I need to take. I want to take that junction. So you might have a quick look around and see what does the area look like. So when you're riding down your bike, you can have a look and say, oh, the house up here, I know this junction. And you'd be surprised when you actually come down here on your bike. You know, I think, oh, I remember this. I can remember seeing this in Google Maps. I turn right here. So it's just another little backup for you, you know, as well as obviously having it on your computer, your bike computer. So for this example, we're just going to go straight up here. This is a hill, I know that. You can see there. It's quite a steep hill, that. So I'll go back to Google Maps. You can have a look here. You can have a look at the percent. If you look here, go back to there because I've gone too far past the sign. You can see there, it's like it's a 14% hill, so that gives you an idea. That's quite a steep hill. And I've pedalled that before. It is quite a steep hill. And of course, that's wrong page. So that's shown obviously on here as well. You can see there, if I bring there, you see the little dip there. That's when the hill starts. Also, another feature of the elevation grade at the bottom there, the profile at the bottom, is if you see a hill. If you look and see here, for example, a hill here, you think I want to have a closer look, you can actually click on it, hold the mouse button and drag a little bar up like that. You can see it just highlights that hill, and then what it does, that zooms in closer, so you can have a bit of more of a closer look of actually the profile of the hill, so you can get a bit of an idea of actually what that hill is going to be like. And then when you're finished with that part, you can just click deselect, and it goes back to the way it was. Again, you can go up here and have a look and think, does this look okay to pedal up? A little bit of manage this, you know, just give you an idea of the hill that's going to be ahead of you. You know, have a look back down the hill and think, is that too easy? Is that too easy? Is that too hard? Am I going to be able to manage that? Keep going up the hill. And this is what I tend to use when I'm doing my maps. I tend to have a quick look at the hills and just think, you know, after I've done sort of a long ride, especially the end of the ride, you know, just before I'm going to head back home after I've done, say, 70 miles or something, I don't want a huge hill at the end of it. So sometimes I'll just check the hill out and say, how steep does it look? So you can say here, this, I know this is steep because I've pedalled up here. This is a steep hill. It's actually steeper than what it looks. And this is the part where it's like 15% or whatnot, or 14%. So you can see there down the hill there. So that's why I tend to use Google Maps along with Street View and Google Maps along with Ride with GPS. And then get back to your start. Go back to your start, and then you can see that you've got your whole profile of your road there, your route, and it's got all your hills on. You can go around the route like that and have a look. It's got all your hills on. Make sure you're happy with it. You can also, if you think, you know, I want to sort of divert a bit, I want to go a different route, you can drag the little pointers. I think I want to head down this way, and that'll reroute it around for you. And you see that's just done a little bit of a different route, so you can do that as well. Just keep a note of the miles there, 15, 16, 17. You can see it goes in order, because sometimes it can go back to front and go 15, 16, 17, 18. So just to keep it right, you know. So so you go in the right direction. And once you've done that, you can see all the cues down the side here. Once you've done it, you can click save. Now I'll just put this as an example route, example test route. You can put a description there if you want. You can have a public or private, and then click save. So on the screen you can send to your device, you can view a route, so you can send to your Garmin or whatever device you have, or you can view the route. So in my case, I'm going to view the route because I want to copy the route URL at the top. I want to copy that, and I want to take that over to me Karoo, new route, import, paste that. And then you can see there, that's my test route there, example test route, which then when I put my Karoo on, in my instance, it'll automatically download that route. But that's basically how I find routes, and it's just a really good example of you know, a really good site, I should say, for making routes and finding your routes. You can, you know, meticulously go through your route and get an idea of where you're going to go and what the roads are going to look like and what the area is going to look like. So that's how I tend to find my routes, and that's what I use for all my routes, is riding with GPS. When I'm going any big rides, including the one I've just done not so long ago, which is a 100-mile bike ride, which was right up the stand-up up here, up Weedale and stuff, and I did exactly the same thing, just a bigger loop round, and came back home again. And it works really well. It's a good site to find, and also to use, I should say. And also there's a find option at the top here, where you can actually find routes close to where you live as well. So you can see, well, all rides and routes. It starts with 50 miles of, say I put Durham in there, for example. You can see there it's give you different routes in there, and you can click on any of these routes and you can import these into your Garmin or your computer. So yeah, so that's just wanted to do a little video, a quick video there, and showing you how I plan my routes and what software I use, what website I use. You know, because I mentioned it many times that I've used Ride with GPS, but that's how I do it. And I do use, as I say, Google Maps as well when I'm making it as well, just so I can get an idea of where I'm going using the Street View, because I think it's vital to get a heads up for your future rides of like what the actual layout of the road looks like. I'd also recommend, before you're going on your route, before you go on your ride, or as you plan your route, in fact, really, to go along to your local council website, look for any road closures in the area, any delays you might not be expecting, and you know, just look at, like you say here, I've got bridges closed, we've got, you know, roadworks, and it's just worth checking out these kind of things before you set off on your ride. The last thing you want to do is head off and be in the middle of nowhere and find some bridge closed, which is what which would have happened to me if I'd set off on my recent ride around Weedale, you know, because one of the bridges on the way back was closed, and I would have had to reroute miles and miles around if I hadn't checked on this website and found the bridge closed. So it's just worth having a little look around the area, just having a quick scout around. Maybe it's on your council website or another website, or just worth researching before you actually head out on your ride, just to make sure there's no unexpected delays and roadworks, anything like that, just to ruin your ride out. Okay, well, thanks for joining us. I shall see you soon, and take care out on the roads, and bye bye for now.